and welcome to Alpha PTE, everyone. This is Fatima. Hope you all are doing well and hope your preparation is going on well. So, after the queries of writing module were resolved, I have got a few requests about speaking module and some students not getting a good score in speaking module. So, I'm going to make a video on all the mistakes that you should avoid to get a high score in PTE Academic Speaking, and what all you need to do to make sure that you don't lose marks in speaking. Now, the reason why I'm focusing more on speaking and writing is because to get a superior score in speaking and writing, now you need more than just 79 marks, because you need 88 in speaking and 85 in writing to get a superior score after the changes were made by the immigration department. So it is now more important than ever to improve your speaking, to avoid your mistakes that take marks from your speaking module, and to do your best to get 90, not even 88, 90 in speaking. And it is very much possible. So let me tell you, it's not impossible to get 90 in speaking. I know most of you can do it if you avoid these few mistakes that we are going to discuss now. So let's start by discussing the general mistakes in the speaking module that you should avoid. The most common mistake I personally feel in speaking module is uh, not knowing each and every question. You think this is the speaking module, all questions have the same approach. That's not right. Every question is different. So before you tackle this entire giant of a speaking module, you should first find out how many marks are going from which question to which module, and what is the most important part in that particular question, and pay attention to the questions that have more marks. So divide your practice accordingly. Then, coming to the next one, speaking too quickly. Like, it is so fast that it is actually sounding like a mumble. The words are not clear, the pace is not uh, good, it's very uncertain, it's too fast, the pauses are there but they're very abrupt. So because you're trying to just speak fast, you're not pacing your pauses properly. You can take a pause on a full stop or a comma, but you just stopped abruptly in the middle because you're out of breath when you're too fast. So speaking too fast is not working anymore. That doesn't mean I'm asking you to speak too slow. Speaking too slow is also not good. Speak at a medium and a natural pace with properly paced, proper pauses and proper clarity. Okay, maintain a steady approach and use slight pauses. Instead of taking a big pause, take small slight pauses on commas and full stop. If you see any comma, take a slight pause and move on, even if you don't need it, because that is going to help you to continue till the next comma. So slight pauses, avoid long pauses. Okay, then speaking too softly or too loudly. Now, whispering or shouting, both is not good for PTE. When you whisper, your words are not clear. When you shout, your words are not clear. So make sure you're not slouching. When you slouch your words, this part, if it slouches like this, it's not going to be good with the clarity. So try to be upright in your speaking module, and mic at chin level, like two 2 centimeters away at chin level, and speak clearly, as if you are, like, you're giving a performance, and you're standing in front of a classroom and teaching people or providing a presentation. Just upright, because when this is straight, your voice is more clear. Okay, then pausing for too long after the beep. You should know the 3-second rule in PTE speaking, right? If your microphone does not detect your voice for 3 seconds, your microphone will shut down, and even if you answer anything, that will not be recorded, and that question will straight away get a 0. Then even if you are not waiting for 3 seconds, if your pause is detected, which is a long pause, it is going to cost you marks for your fluency. Okay, so system stopping the recording is like a big thing. It will give you a 0 for the task, but start speaking immediately after the beep sound. Even if you just say the first word, slowly and start from there. Okay, so just make sure you start immediately. Then skipping words, mispronouncing words, adding too many unnecessary extra words, and sounding like a, what do you say, sometimes people say sounding like a robot is good. I don't think it's helping anymore. Previously it used to help, but nowadays, like, we are in the generation of chat gpt. So I'm sure PTE has pulled up its socks and it says, now since chat gpt is there, there's grammarly, there's so many things, let me also do my work properly. And the software has become really sophisticated, so you don't need to worry about that. Just be yourself. It has accents from all over the world. It will be able to recognize each and everything, unless what you're pronouncing is absolutely not clear. So make sure you don't uh, do this mistake of just being like a robot. S- Straight tone is fine, but not like a robot. I've seen a lot of people reading like, there are people who are studying this and that is why it is going like that and it is not important anymore. That I'm saying to avoid. Okay. Then strategies, poor strategy for describe image, retell lecture, and summarize group discussion and respond to a situation. These four questions, if you don't have a good strategy, that means if you can't maintain a flow, a smooth flow in from the beginning till the end in all these four questions, you might lose marks here, because describe image is now a very high scoring question in PTE speaking. So we don't want to do that. Okay, so first thing, staying silent for too long, not good. Giving short responses like, this graph is pink, people, it has pink, green, blue. No. This graph is talking about people and it has different types of colors like pink, blue, and purple. So even if you're talking about things, make a flow. How will that happen? With regular practice. When you practice, make sure you practice these four question types well, wherein your response has to be very well organized. Okay, especially for summarized group discussion, because it is a long audio, like 3 minutes long audio, and you have to give a response for 1.5 to 2 minutes. And that will not happen just by putting 2 to 3 key points. No, always start with an introduction. Even in describe image, start with an introduction. This is a line graph which is talking about, then put the title. This is a bar graph which is describing the title. This is a pie chart wherein they're talking about this. This pie chart describes this. This is a map of the university's library which has rooms, blah blah blah. So some introductions that are going to give you a head start. So for pie chart I will start with this, for line graph I will start like this. This will get comfortable when you keep practicing it. Initially it looks difficult, but it's not. Trust me, all you need is a little bit more push and practice and you will ace this question like this. All right, so organize these four questions to maintain a smooth flow throughout the recording time, and try to speak for 30 seconds for describe image, retell lecture, and respond to situation. And obviously, for summarize group discussion, at least 1.5 minute is good. 1.5 minute, 1.5 minute is preferable, and have your notes ready. Retell lecture and respond to retell lecture and summarize group discussion is very much dependent on note taking. So make sure you work well on your note taking skills and take good notes. Next one, practice your pronunciation. I am not giving I'm not saying this for anybody particularly, but there are a lot of people, a lot of us, including me, for us, English is not our first language. It's not the mother tongue. It's not the language we speak normally at home. But we get used to this particular language and then get comfortable with it. But if you are one of that student wherein you have a very thick accent of your original language, of your mother tongue, then you have to work on the pronunciations, because some words in your language may not be there, some pronunciations may not be there in that particular language, but they're there in English. Now let me give you an example. So I have dealt with so many students for the past 10 years. Like I had students from Arabic backgrounds. They had difficulties in pronouncing p, like instead of proper b, they used to put the word b, proper. But that improves, they improve it with regular practice. A lot of my Punjabi students, initially, because they are not from English background, so instead of saying you, they had that j sound, ju. But it's not their fault, they improved and they got 90. So you can also do it. I have seen students working hard to improve their pronunciation. So if you have that thick pronouncing thick mother tongue influence, with some words, work on them and improve them. They will definitely improve. And next thing with pronunciation is missing the ending ed words: played, taped, protected. So that ed words, a lot of times I've seen my students missing the ed words. And s's, um, strips, trips, belongings, practices. So this ed words and the s's, if you miss, you might lose marks in pronunciation. So ignoring your pronunciation, your clarity is going to cost you marks. Then moving on, panicking. When you make a mistake, it's okay. If you mispronounce a word, it's okay. After everything I say, it's still okay. You took a long pause, forget about it. You added a few words, it's fine. You missed a few words, forget about it. Panicking is only going to cause you a snowballing effect. Sometimes some things happen, there's no control, you can't do much, but what happens next is in your control. So if you make a few errors, stop panicking, move on, do the rest as well as perfectly as possible. Maybe you'll just get a good score, it's fine. It is okay. After everything I say, sometimes some things happen in your exam. Don't stop and think and worry about it. Just don't correct yourself repeatedly. It breaks your fluency, it wastes your time. And if you stop there, you can't keep going. You need to keep going, right? So forget about it, go ahead, do your best, and leave the rest. That's what I can say. Don't worry. Sometimes mistakes happens with me also. We are humans at the end of the day. So I'm sure PTE understands. Don't stress. Last but not the least, active listening. Active listening is important in repeat sentences and retell lecture. Practice your active listening. Don't try to memorize it. Try to understand it. When you focus on just memorizing each and every word, you might, at the end of the day, with the stress and with the panic, you'll forget it. So just understand what the sentence is saying, try to repeat as much as possible, 60, 70, 80%, whatever you remember in repeat sentences. Try to repeat the complete short and medium sentences. It is pretty much doable. Short and medium sentences: Mr. Smith is coming late to the class. So you understand, okay, in your head, okay, Mr. Smith is coming late to the class. In your exam, in the real life scenario, sorry, say for example, in a real life scenario, you're in a university classroom and somebody came and said, oh, Mr. Smith is coming late to the class. And after 5 minutes also, somebody will ask you, what did he say? You'll say, oh, he said Mr. Smith is coming late to the class. You will remember that because there you're not, you didn't hear that to memorize, you heard that to understand. Okay, yeah, Mr. Smith is late, fine. So do the same thing in your repeat sentences. Don't stress on memorizing each and every word. Try to focus and understand what the speaker is saying. If you miss one or two bits here and there, it's okay, but try to get the bigger chunk. Same in Retell Lecture, try to get the bigger chunks. And when you stammer or when you miss, just use single words, and when you're not able to connect the single words, even if you use the single words, you should be able to connect it in a natural and smooth way, so that the flow doesn't break when you respond. So that is why it's important that you take at least 3 to 4 words together and break sentences into small mental chunks when you're repeating it, so you understand what you're saying. Okay, then fillers. Overusing fillers will lower your fluency score. And a lot of fillers, because when you have too many fillers, you may restart what you're saying. So if you get stuck, just take a small tiny filler and move on. Okay, don't take unnecessary fillers. Then, yeah, not practicing your speaking questions enough. Speaking questions need most of your practice and regular practice, because it is a skill that you're developing. The skill of having the skill of communicating and having a consistent conversation is something that needs to be practiced and learned. And if you leave that, if you stop consistency, then you need to restart again. So always, even if you're perfect with your speaking, always give at least 10 to 15 minutes, practice all the questions first, of the speaking questions, maybe one or two, and then move on to the next area where you have difficulties, maybe writing, reading, listening, whatever. But do not stop your speaking even for one day, even if you're perfect. All right, moving on very quickly. I'm going to skim through each and every question and give my advice for that. Read aloud, like I said, chin up, start speaking immediately, try not to skip, add, or mispronounce words. Use natural intonations to stop, and take short pauses on commas and full stop. Don't take like a big pause. Take regular consistent short pauses. Maintain a steady pace, don't be too fast or too slow. And use the articulate the endings like s's and eds really well. Don't be like a robot, be confident. Moving on to repeat sentences. Repeat sentences focus on the meaning. Don't just rely on your memorizing. Okay, not word to word memorizing. Focus on the meaning of the sentence. Listen actively and then repeat immediately. If you think, if you use the stresses, it is going to help you, go for it. You devise your strategy and see what works for you. Do not mumble in repeat sentences. Mumbling is going to cost you marks, not just in speaking but also in listening. Avoid fillers, and if you're not sure, just repeat whatever you heard with confidence fluently and move on, so that you don't get stuck, and be confident for the next one. If you make a mistake, if you forget that particular sentence, repeat whatever you remember. Don't stress, so that you do the next one well. Okay, coming to describe image. Quickly scan the image. You have 25 seconds to prepare what is given to you. So quickly scan the image, identify the title. If the title is given, identify the title. Then identify the words which are written there. If it is a chart, x-axis, y-axis, know which one is an x-axis, which one is a y-axis, what is written on the x-axis. Even if you get confused between x-axis and y-axis, that's fine, don't stress. Whatever is written there first, say whatever you can read, then identify a few colors, highest, lowest, conclude again the same thing and move on. Okay, speak for 30 to 35 seconds. Don't finish too early, don't finish at 20 seconds anymore, it doesn't work. Okay, start immediately after the beep. Use simple terms but maintain the flow. Do not keep repeating the same thing again and again and again. Okay, you are going to lose marks there. And keep your voice smooth without any hesitations. Okay, I'm sure you can do it. Moving on to retell lecture. Retell lecture, listen for the start with the main idea. Sometimes they don't start with the main idea, they just start. So today I am sitting here for this presentation, blah blah blah. Don't start with that. Start with the main idea. Use key points, chunks like 2 to 3 words, 2 to 3 words, 2 to 3 words. Work on your note taking so you have good amount of notes. The more notes, the better your summary, your retell lecture is going to be, and you will have confidence. I'm not saying that if you don't have notes your retell lecture is going to be bad. You will be confident that, oh my god, I have so much, I'm sure I'm going to kill it. Okay, so work on your note taking, work on your connectors so that your response looks like smooth and structured. And speak 30 to 40 seconds. And don't panic if you miss some words, and if you are not able to read a few words in your note taking, you can repeat whatever you read from the beginning. If you think that okay, I'm just at 20 seconds and my notes are finished, just repeat whatever you read and click next when you think you're done. Okay, click next immediately. Don't let the pause get recorded. Coming to answer short questions, obviously there's nothing much we can do. We just listen carefully, give a short and direct answer if we know it. If we don't know, just guess. If we can't guess, say I don't know and then move on. You can't do much about it, right? It's basically a general knowledge question. If you know, only then we will answer. Most of the time it's simple, but it's fine. Don't worry about it so much. Coming to your summarized group discussion. Now, summarized group discussion, again, the same thing. Active listening is very important. You need to focus, you need to start with the topic, immediately first line topic, then divide the page into three parts: speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3. Okay, take short notes. Don't take big sentences, take short notes that give you an idea of what the speaker is saying. Use a simple structure wherein you are introducing the topic, then you are saying whatever all the speakers said, their opinions, their discrepancies, their discussions, whether they are agreeing or disagreeing, or they are communicating along with each other, or they are communicating against each other, and stuff like that. And then conclusion. So overall, this is what I think they were trying to say, and maybe this is what happened. So conclude it smoothly. Immediately start with the right immediately start after the beep. And it looks like it's a difficult question, but honestly, summarize group discussion, the topics are so simple, the audios are day to day related, they're very simple. You just get nervous, only then it is going to be an issue. Don't get nervous, it is very simple, it is day to day topic, and you can absolutely do it. Coming to the last one, respond to a situation. Respond to a situation, obviously you don't need notes, because whatever question they are going to say, it will be right there in front of you on the screen. Just when you have preparation time, think in your mind, how can I solve this situation? Okay, this is the so first 2 3 sentences you can repeat what they said. For example, the respond to situation that I had in my exam, that you I want to take a photocopy, and the printer is not working. I have to go and talk to the librarian to help. Okay, not a lot of information is given, so what will I say? Okay, obviously I will start that, hi, I needed to take a few photocopies, but the photocopy machine is not working and the red light is beeping, showing near the uh, paper tray. And then I add some masala, like, this is a very important paper, I really need to make a copy of it today because I have to go and submit it in an hour, I can't go anywhere else. You can add masala there. So if you can help me, I'll be really thankful. And I think it just needs some extra paper, or if you're too busy, can you give me some extra papers and will you give me the permission to open and put the papers? I'm happy to do that. I know, and you finish with that. All right. Then, in your response to a situation, the one thing that I would say is stay professional and stay polite. And especially when you're dealing with professors, when you're dealing with librarians, when you're dealing with your managers and stuff like that. So, you have to understand the situation and give a response accordingly. Okay, like I said, you can't take notes here, there's no point because the question is written in front of you. But all you need to do is use that time to structure your response. Okay, what am I going to say to solve this situation? And the situations are not difficult, it is a day to day situations that we face all the time. Okay, so it's really important to plan quickly and speak confidently. Do not stay silent even if you are not sure about the how to solve the problem. Just say, okay, I know this is a very important problem and I'm really looking for a solution to solve this situation, I hope you can help me. So something like this, the generic thing you can make for yourself, but this is only as a last resort. Like, you're not able to find any solution for something bizarre like this, and then you can use something like this, but don't stay silent. Okay, when you are adding two things, use connectors, don't just add them randomly. and finish well, like conclude, give a strong ending. All right. So overall, I'm just going to say that with all each and everything, again, most important thing, when you start speaking, mic, check, recheck again. Start speaking within the 3 seconds immediately. Okay. Be natural, be confident, and avoid either whispering or shouting. Self corrections. Don't correct yourself again and again. Don't say silent, say something, even if that's not what is said in repeat sentence, especially. Don't use too many fillers and maintain good, consistent pace. Now, I also had somebody ask me about the pitch. Now, it's good. First of all, nowadays nobody is having issues with pitch, but just because I had this question about pitch, what pitch for male and female is recommended, I would say for a male speaker 140 to 150 hertz, and for a female speaker 200 hertz and above is recommended. But I'm not saying if you don't have that you won't get a score. If you are not getting a score in speaking, even after doing everything and even after being perfect, then maybe check your pitch and see if it falls in that range. If not, just work on it and improve your pitch. Okay. So that's about speaking, guys. That's about all the questions related to the speaking module. If you still have any doubts and queries, do not hesitate to let us know. You can leave a comment and we'll respect your comments and make videos accordingly. And I'll see you very soon in the next video. And if you like our videos, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until then, take care. Bye.